What's the difference in Kyrie's? And this is a legit question I have, because last night the ball was whipping around. And it's amazing how good he looked with one practice. What's the difference, you think, in Kyrie getting those involved versus Luka getting those involved?
Well, so here's issues that Kyrie had last night, and this will take a little bit of time.
By the way, your Q rating is very high, because our dinner picture, everyone was saying, where's Bacsik? He's my favorite. Where's Bacsik? He's the best. So the Tolos were loving you.
Okay, well, thank you.
Yeah.
Is at times Kyrie would get a pick by Dwight Powell, and they would blitz him or they would double team him. He would then bounce past the ball to Dwight Powell at the free throw line. Dwight Powell can't do anything with that ball. Kyrie's going to learn, right? He's just like, no, I'm going to give that ball to Nick Claxton, or I'm going to give that ball to Ben Simmons, let's say. But with the Mavericks, he's going to learn, all right, when I get the pick set, I can't give Dwight Powell the ball at the free throw line. He can't really do much. He's going to be very confused on, oh, no, I can't shoot it from here. I can't really take the ball off the dribble. So there's like little things where Kyrie's going to learn his teammates more on where they like getting the ball and where they don't like getting the ball, where sometimes we'll be like, man, Luka, well, he's over dribbling in that situation, going, I got to get Dwight Powell closer to the basket until I can pass him the basketball. But what I love from Kyrie and then Josh Green, who just is improving game after game after game, is they want to get out and go. Yeah. And so now when you look at, if you have Josh Green and Kyrie Irving that want to get out and go, when Hardy is on the court, he wants to get out and go. You have guys that want to run. And so now it is up to Luka when he comes back, whether it's Friday or Saturday night, it sounds like, is that he needs to understand we can get a lot easier buckets with these role players if I get out and go. If in 3 to 5 seconds you go and nothing's there, that's fine. Now we play isolation basketball with Kyrie Irving and Luka Doncic. I will say this, though. They did have actually plays last night, and I feel like the Mavericks pretty much run 2 plays, one to start the game and then 85 in a row of isolation basketball with a 3 guys stand and watch while Dwight Powell or somebody picks for Luka. They try to get the switch, and then Luka does whatever he wants to do, whether it's score or pass the ball at the end of the possession for a shot or a layup. And so I really liked what I saw. I do think that a lot of this is on Luka. Kyrie has adjusted to LeBron James. Kyrie has adjusted to James Harden. Kyrie has adjusted to Kevin Durant. We don't know what Luka is going to be like. I think he's an unbelievable player. I think the best offensive player in the game. But this will be the first time where he has another star on the court with him, because Porzingis does not. He's good. Porzingis is good. He's not in the same category as Kyrie.
He's crazy how he couldn't work here. It didn't work here with him. He's doing better. He's doing well in Washington.
I think when there's no pressure and you don't have to do anything to make the playoffs, and the last 5 minutes don't really matter, I think Porzingis thrives in those situations.
And Carlo wanted him to stand outside the three-point line, stay out there.
Yeah.
And then, okay, so what else from last night?
I thought it goes to show you this. You lose Dorian Finney-Smith, and Dinwiddie's okay defensively. Dorian Finney-Smith is above average. And they're like, I don't know what they're going to do defensively. Well, I don't know. You know what? When all 5 guys try, you know what happens? You're actually an average defensive team.
Yeah.
If you have good defenders and all 5 guys try, you're a good to great defensive team. And so I thought last night it showed you can be an average. I don't want to put them above average, but you can be an average defensive team. You know what you have to do? All 5 guys have to get back on defense, and you all have to really try. And Luka, I don't want to make this a Luka bashing thing. I love him. But if Luka's going to pout on the other end when he doesn't get a call or a ball doesn't go in the basket, you become a bad defensive team because you have 4 guys trying to guard 5 guys. And it also, I think, demoralizes the energy of the team when one guy is not trying on defense. And so I thought last night, what an unbelievable effort from the Mavs defensively.
Yeah, it was. Do you think Luka can play at that pace?
Good question.
I do, because I feel like Slovenia plays faster than the Dallas Mavericks. I don't know why he likes outletting the ball with Slovenia, but I watch a lot of Slovenia basketball.
Did he run with them?
You're sick. You're just a sick individual.
And he would outlet the ball up. So he would push the ball in international basketball with lesser players. And it always confused me on the Mavs. I'm like, he trusts Slovenians. He trusts his country more than he trusts the Mavs getting the ball up the court.
1% of my brain said, is it possible that Luka doesn't want to run? Like, I wonder how many players – you think everybody wants to run. You think everyone wants to get in transition. Everyone wants to run Showtime. And I was like, I wonder how many NBA players besides big men don't want to run like deer in the open.
He does want to touch the ball a lot. And if you run all the time, he's going to stop it because he's going to be like, no, I can't get my show off. My entertainment is not fast break basketball. My entertainment is isolation basketball. So I understand that at times he's going to be like, let me demoralize this other team by dancing with the basketball, getting a guy on my hip, whether it's making a layup, whether it's step back, whether it's making an unbelievable pass. That is the best part of his game. But I do think if the Mavs pick and choose good spots to run, it makes it more difficult for the other team to guard. The other thing, too, is we stink on rebounds, and I think we'll always stink on rebounds with this team. But you know what happens when you get out and you outlet the ball and run? Other coaches say, guys, we can't crash the boards that much because if we do, they're going to outlet the ball and get easy baskets. If you shoot the ball or you're at the top of the key, you got to get back. So that's all of a sudden one of the things that Miami Heat with LeBron were such great rebounders. Nobody dared to ever try to offensive rebound off of them because of what they would do in transition.
Yeah. I was talking about this with the guys earlier. I think this move, especially after watching last night how things work out, I think this is going to add up to actually surprisingly more Reggie Bullock shots. Because I think the way Luka will be able to break down the defense, kick to Kyrie, who then breaks down the defense, you're just going to have all this collapsing and open shots for Bullock.
It's amazing to me that a human being can't make a basketball or can't hit a baseball for 2 months. And then after 2 months or 3, they all of a sudden turn back into like a solid player. Like Reggie Bullock was getting the exact same shots for the first 3 months of this season and couldn't make them. Last night, obviously, 5 for 5 to start the game. I didn't think last night, I thought he took a little bit off his fastball. He was throwing more changeups at the basket, which is great. He kind of just throws it about 100 miles an hour at the rim for the first 3 months of the year.
Oh, yeah. His exit velo on his threes is aggressive.
And last night, there's a little bit of arc to it. It does get 3 inches above the rim. It gets more like 1.5 feet above the rim, which gives it a better chance to go in. But I do think offensively, this team can be spectacular. The other thing, too, is I'll pass this to you, Sean. I do think with what the Lakers did yesterday, Kyrie's now a Maverick the next 4 years.
Just from one night.
Because here's what they did. Malik Beasley makes next year $16 million. That's a team option. They're going to pick that up. You can't find better than Malik Beasley at that number. Rui Hachimura, are they just going to let him walk? So here's the deal. So here's the factual stuff of the Lakers. If they let every player on their team go, besides LeBron and Anthony Davis, they literally just say, you know what, we're letting all of these guys we traded for go. You can offer him $35 million max to start. So I think what LA did is after not getting Kyrie, they said, we are not giving up. And they went out and they got D'Angelo Russell and Beasley and Vanderbilt, and they'd already had Rui Hachimura. So they're going to bring all of those guys back.
They made a big mistake yesterday, in my opinion. Brian Windhorst said one of the fascinating aspects of the deadline are the Lakers still going to try to go for something or let that Westbrook contract expire and get Kyrie in the offseason? Right? Go ahead and sign him. But because of the LeBron pressure, you sit there and you make this move. It does what for you? Nothing. Is anyone really moving the Lakers anywhere in the West after this move? And now you've lost the Westbrook expiring contract to go and try to get another player in the offseason. I think they messed up with that.
Okay. I guess.
Do I have that money right and everything?
Yes. I think that now the Mavericks do not have the competition of the Lakers in the offseason.
Yeah, because the money's less gone.
Right. And so if you look at it, if they exercise the option on Malik Beasley, which I think they will, because he's a 40% three-point shooter in his prime. Like, that's something LeBron needs on his team. And then you sign Rui Hachimura. You're done. You don't have any more free agent money. You can re-sign D'Angelo Russell because he's your own guy. You can go over the cap with your guy. But if you got to get under the cap, you can only get $35 million under, and you'd literally have 3 players on your team, which they would be great players, and then you'd have to sign 12 league minimum guys.